Okay, students, we're going to go over some common errors that people made so you can correct your assignment and not miss it on the DCAS. First off, you should recognize, since it goes to the center, that this is 180 degrees. So those three add to 180. Solve it. For x, plug it back in. Here I should recognize that's 90 degrees, so it goes to the ends of the diameter. So it's half of its intercepted arc. Half of 180 is 90. And then this is 7, this is 24, so you could do Pythagorean theorem to get your AC or know your Pythagorean triples. Okay, 5 o'clock. There's 12, there's 5 o'clock. Okay, and they want the, as it said, the minor arc. Remember, minor is less than 180, so they want from 12 to 5 that way. It says use the minor arc. If they want the major arc, it'd go on the other side. Okay, so the major arc would be this one right here. So you got to pay attention if they give you something like that, minor arc versus the major arc. So you should know that there's 360 degrees in a circle, and there's how many numbers there? 12. So each one is 30 degrees. So therefore, this is 150 degrees for the minor arc over the 360 times 2 pi r. And what is r? Well, the diameter is 6, so the r is 3 inches. I'll leave it there, and you can fill in the rest. Exact answer doesn't say it around, so don't put pi in your calculator. Common error right here. Vast majority of people miss this right here. Find the following arc lengths. When it's arc length, you got to have it memorized. X over 360 times 2 pi r. That equals the arc length. So if it wants the arc length, that means it must give you all of that information right there, the X and the R to fill in. And notice it doesn't say around, so you leave it as exact answer, which means pi in the answer. So it says arc AC is 110. So that means its central angle is 110, which makes that 70, makes that central angle 70. So I'm filling in 110 into here one time, and then I'm also filling in 70 a second time. And the radius doesn't change. Segment AB is the diameter. That's 20, so that means the radius is 10. So I'm filling in 10 there. So fill that in and then switch it to 70 degrees over to 360. And you just simplify that. That means that pi stays in the answer. And you just type in 110 times 2 times 10 divided by 360. Hit math, enter, enter. So it reduces the fraction for you. And then you have pi at the end because you're leaving pi in the answer, exact answers. Okay, number 10, the common error people made was you rounded beforehand. Okay, ZXV right here, and YXW right there are vertical angles, so they're congruent. So you set them equal to each other. And when you do that, you get a decimal answer. It's a repeating decimal. This is not the answer, but let's say it came out to be x equals 2.3 repeating bar. I need to leave that in there and change it to a fraction, which I could hit math, enter, enter, and it'll give me 7/3. So now I use 7/3 and plug that into the x for both of those, or either one, because when you plug in, you'll get the same answer. And my answer will have a fraction in it. You hit math, enter, enter. Okay, write as a fraction, or you can write as the decimal with the repeating bar on it. So say it came out to be 80.6 repeating bar. You write 80.6 repeating bar in the angle itself. You don't put 80.7. Doesn't say in here anywhere to round your answer. It wants the exact answer. So you're going to have an answer of 0.6 repeating bar or 0.3 repeating bar in your answers, or you write it as a fraction. You should know 0.6 repeating bar equals 2/3. You should know 0.3 repeating bar equals 1/3. So you can either write it as fractions or decimals. Just have the repeating bar. DCAS, I don't know if they allow you to put repeating bars on it, so you'd have to put it as a fraction. Okay, so that's a common error on 10. Number 11 says find the radius. You're going to have a problem like this. Okay, on the DCAS. Okay, it gives you the arc length. How do I know it's an arc length? Because it's got inches right there. It's not degrees. This is 10 inches from there to there. That's the arc length. I know the formula for arc length is x over 360 times 2 pi r equals my arc length. So they gave me the arc length, so I plug in the 10 right there. They gave me the x, 145 degrees, over 360, 2 pi, and we're solving for r. So now you need to solve that for r. And you don't round to the final answer and put it in the nearest 10th spot. So I can go 145 times 2 times pi divided by 360, get that answer, and then I'm going to divide that across. So then I'm going to go 10 divided by answer. So I just did that answer there on your calculator. Where's the answer button? It's going to come up here. Thought I hit it. Graphing calculator. Start. Graphing calculator. And there's your answer in this one at the blue above the negative sign down here. So let's say, for example, I did 5 times 9, I got 45, and I want to do 125 divided by the answer. So I do second negative sign is the answer. It takes that answer and plugs it in there. Hit enter. And see, that's 2.7 repeating bar. It rounds the last one to 8, but it's 2.7 repeating bar. So therefore, that's a fraction. I can get that. I want that math. Enter, enter, and it's 25/9 is what I would type in then. Okay, you either put 2.7 repeating bar, or you use 25/9. You don't put 2.8. Didn't say to round. Okay, exact answer. You need to know this is for all math classes. Apparently, sometimes in your Algebra 1 teachers, they just had you round anyway, but that's not what it's supposed to be. Okay, all right. So finish that off to solve for r there. 6, again, you got xz is the radius. You get the angle right here, 6 degrees. Find the exact, tell me to leave pi in the answer. Pi must be in the answer. Arc length. So again, we have x over 360 times 2 pi r. I should see that written down. Equals, if you want to say AL for arc length, that's fine. Okay. So you have the r right there. You have the degrees right there. You just fill it in, do the calculations, leave pi in your answer, because I want the exact answer, and you have your arc length. All right, backside. Common one is most people missed 23 through 28. Again, same formula. Find the length of the arc. That's arc length. Every time, every one of these is x over 360 times 2 pi r. We just got to do it on the front side. You had your notes on it. I don't know why you're not doing it here. Leave your answer in terms of pi. That means exact answer again. That's what that means, exact answer, as it said on the front side, and I told you. Okay? So, it wants the darkness spot only right there, 120 degrees. That's 120 degrees makes the central angle 120 degrees. So 120 degrees goes right there. The R is right there, so it's 9. I'm just going to do this one for you. The rest you do the exact same way. So 120 over 360, you should know that reduces to 1/3. 2 pi times 9. Well, now I can go 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 3 times 2 pi is 6 pi. All basic math. And then I don't forget inches. Several of you forgot your units. You should have units on every one of these answers. Okay, you expect to have units on the DCAS. You get marked -1 on your test if you don't have units. So you do that those exact same steps for 23 through 28. You get 6 problems or practice. So you have it memorized exactly how to do it. You're going to have one of those on the DCAS test. They will either give it to you in this format, or they'll give you the arc length like we had on the front side and ask you to solve either for the angle measure itself, the x, or for the r. Okay? Every year they have that. Pretty much every guy at 29 to 34, right? So that's not a problem. I did the clock 1 to 5 o'clock on the front side, so I'm not going to do that one again. A lot of you skipped 37. Okay, here again, they give you the arc length, so that's the right side. of your equal sign, 3 pi inches. That's the arc length, remember, AL, arc length. And I have x over 360 times 2 pi r, just like we did above, just 2 pi r. So the x, they tell me, arc measure is 120, so I just fill it in there. And they want you to solve for the r. Okay, so 120 over 360 is 1/3. 2 pi r equals 3 pi. Okay, well, the pi's will cancel out. Okay, and now you need to go ahead and solve that for r. I'll stop right there. 38 to 40, most people got that right. Again, this adds to 180. The whole thing adds to 360, and the whole thing adds to 360. Add them all up, set equal to 360 and solve. 41 I'm going to do. This is a commonly missed one. Okay. So the 45-degree arc has the same length. That means arc length. The arc length as a 30-degree one. So if I have a 45-degree, half of 90 is 45. This length, let's change the color here. They're saying this length is the same as if I had only 30 degrees. This length. So in order for those to be the same length, this radius is going to have to be longer. So the circle is bigger, because right now you can see if I do the same size circles, it's smaller. So I'm going to have to make this a bigger circle. Okay, so when I do 30 degrees, okay, it's now a longer length, and then it would be equal to this. So we know this radius the 30-degree radius has to be longer, okay, than the 45 in order for them to have the same arc lengths. All right, so our formula, 45 over 360, 2 pi r equals, since the arc lengths are the exact same, I can just substitute in there 30 over 360, 2 pi r. Okay, the 2 pi's cancel out with each other out. Go ahead and simplify that. That is 1/8 r equals 1/12 r. Okay, and I want to solve the left side for r. So if I make this 1, okay, that means I'm going to multiply it by 8. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other side. So I have r equals 8/12 r sub 2, and 8/12 reduces to 2/3. Oops, r sub 1 there. Okay, so this r sub 1 right here is 2/3 of this r sub 2. Okay, r sub 2 has to be longer. So r1 is only 2/3 of it. And it asks to go from circle D to circle E. D is the first one, E is the second, so the ratio is 2 to 3. Okay, which is the same thing. Oh yeah, they want it as integers. Okay, no decimals, so 2 to 3 is what that answer is going to be, and that will do it.